Narcissism. It's a word we toss around a lot these days. Maybe you've heard it casually. Oh, she's a narcissist, or that guy's totally full of himself. He's probably a narcissist. But how do we really define it? And more importantly, have we seen a living, breathing example of narcissism out in real time in the public eye, like we have with Rachel ZEgler? Now, before we dive in, let me say this. I was hesitant to make this video, but after seeing multiple painful, clear examples of how someone can be completely blind to their narcissistic tendencies, I felt compelled. This isn't a video meant to hate, but to highlight, reflect, and ultimately help. So, how will this video benefit you? It's simple. By learning from the blind spots of others, we can avoid making the same mistakes ourselves. No one wants to be that person. No one who has no idea they are the problem, while everyone around them knows the truth. Let's start by taking a look at narcissism from a psychological perspective. Narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, is characterized by a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, a constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. According to the American Psychiatric Association, about 1% of the general population is diagnosed with NPD. But many psychologists believe narcissistic traits exist on a spectrum, and a lot more people are walking around with these traits than we realize. In fact, studies from the National Institute of Health suggest that narcissistic traits are on the rise, particularly among younger generations raised on social media validation and fame culture. Enter Rachel ZEgler. She's talented, she's young, and she was given the dream opportunity of a lifetime, starring in Disney's live-action Snow White. But somewhere along the way, it seems she forgot the one unspoken rule of blockbuster film promotion: be likable. Her press tour for Snow White was frankly a PR disaster. Before the movie even hits theaters, Rachel made headlines not for her performance, but for her tone-deaf comments about the original 1937 classic. She dismissed the film, its prince, and the entire storyline, calling it outdated and anti-feminist.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
While it's okay to modernize ideas and push culture forward, it's how she said it that rubbed everyone the wrong way.
You told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those things.
It wasn't just about voicing an opinion, it was the snotty expression, the smug delivery, and the complete disregard for nostalgic value the original held for millions. Her tone came off as if she was above the project she was paid millions to promote. Reports even surfaced that Disney asked her to tone it down, and yet she didn't. Despite signing a multi-million-dollar deal, there was no visible humility, no public moment of self-awareness, just more of the same dismissive attitude. This is where narcissism comes in. Psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvajula describes narcissists as people who struggle deeply with empathy, overestimating their abilities, and often shift blame on others when things go wrong. Does this sound familiar?
The narcissist is going to remain a one-person wrecking crew. Please protect yourself, as their rage and their manipulation can literally make you sick, both mentally and physically. And not calling them out is not enabling. A lot of people say, if I don't call them out, then I'm part of the problem. They're already enabled. And you calling them out in a strange way enables them more, because it means they can just go on yet another one of their ragers that they use to release tension. They aren't going to change.
Does this sound familiar? Rachel ZEgler checks so many of these boxes, a seeming inability to recognize the damage her words caused, a lack of gratitude for the opportunity, and a refusal to take responsibility when things went south. It's important to remember narcissists don't always look like villains. In fact, often come off as charming, intelligent, and ambitious. But over time, the red flags will show: self-centeredness, hypersensitivity to criticism, and a deep resistance to admitting they're wrong. So what can we learn from all this? First, avoid personalities like this in your own life. They can drain your energy, distort reality, and leave you questioning your worth. Second, and more importantly, make sure you don't become one. Narcissism often thrives in environments that reward performance over character, applause over accountability. In a world full of filters, followers, and viral fame, it's easy to lose sight of humility and self-awareness. So whether you're in the spotlight or not, stay grounded, be reflective, own your mistakes, and remember, being likable isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about being authentic, grateful, and aware. Let Rachel ZEgler be a cautionary tale, not a villain, but a mirror, one that reflects what happens when self-importance overshadows self-awareness. All right, guys, thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, stay wise, stay humble.